Hey guys, so it's day 2 out of 28 days. I am showing up. This is going to be, I think, a long video, which is not Instagram algorithm friendly, but we're not here to be algorithm friendly. We're just here to show up and spread our message. Okay, that's the point of this journey. So here it goes. Today I want to speak about the concept of duality. The concept of duality has been something that has been revealing itself to me throughout kind of like this whole year. Maybe less now, but it definitely revealed itself to me kind of like the first half of the year where when I was on my cancer fighting journey still. And yeah, I'm not sure where do I start. I think the best way to kind of like describe it is through actual examples. So one of the first kind of like moments where it clicked to me was when I went back home for like back to my childhood home, to my parents' home for the first time in a really, really, really long time. And I felt so out of place. I was like, wait, I do I even belong here? Like, I don't feel like this is my place. I feel like I've outgrown it. And then, guess what hit me? Guilt. Guilt for feeling this way because, then I started thinking, well, I have a home. I have a loving and caring family that welcomes me in my childhood home. Like I'm cared for. I have a kind of like a shelter. I have home. Can't I just be grateful? And then I was like, wait, but I can hold both truths. Both are true. Yes, I have a home, and yes, I'm grateful, and I appreciate that I have my caring parents that are welcoming me at home, basically, where I'm warm, I'm cared for, all of that great stuff. And then at the same time, I can still feel like I've wait, my English is escaping a little bit. mm, how do you say outgrown? Yeah, sorry. I can still feel that I have outgrown kind of like this space, and it doesn't have the capacity to hold all of me anymore, if you will. So yeah, that was kind of like one of the first experiences with duality. And then second experience of duality, or maybe it's not the second, but it's like the one I remember most vividly, the one that stood out the most, was when it was a beautiful winter day. It was snowing. It usually does not snow in Varna, but it was snowing, and it was snowing like really, really good, like good, good, unusually good for Varna. And my little inner child heart was literally fluttering in excitement, in happiness, in singing frozen songs like "Do you wanna build a snowman?" I didn't build one, but I touched snow. So yeah. Um, and then all this happiness, joy, excitement happened to be completely shattered the next day when the universe was like, yeah, you know what, girlie? Let me show you how it could be on the other side. Which I already was taking into account the previous day, by the way. The previous day when I was like jumping from excitement, I also did realize that snow is beautiful. It's exciting, but also it holds danger. It holds, kind of like, I don't know how to say it. My English is not good enough. But kind of like problems, like for example, blocking roads or something like this, or like people falling like on ice, which is exactly what happened to my mom on the next day. Yeah. Next day I wake up only to realize that my mom fell on ice because of the snow. And she broke her arm and her leg. Yeah. Uh, and that was, of course, heartbreaking. You naturally get a little heartbroken and deeply worried when your loved ones are suffering. Um, so that's kind of like the second example that stands out so vividly to me, where I had to hold both truths when it comes to snow. Like, it can be beautiful, it can be exciting, it can be all about play and joy, yet it does bring issues, troubles, and unfortunate situations. And then the third kind of like most impactful for me play out of duality was my whole cancer journey. Because on my cancer journey, and still, because I feel like I will forever be on this cancer journey, because it took my thyroid away from me. So now I just for the rest of my life, I have to deal with the consequences of now living without a thyroid, which is not really fun, but oh well. So yeah, I have to hold that. I have to hold a little bit of resentment, a little bit of grief, a little bit of anger, a little bit of why me, and what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Why? But then also I'm deeply grateful for my cancer journey, because on this journey I finally felt peace for a long while. Because pre-cancer I was really not okay. I don't know what kind of state I was in, but I was not okay. I was not okay. I was completely lost. I was having like mad panic attacks. I honestly felt like I was possessed. I was struggling a lot with like my emotions, with like my life. I was in a really dark place, okay? And once that cancer happened, I felt peaceful for the first time in a long time. And I also kind of like learned to appreciate more like actual things in life that matter, such as like your close ones that are there for you. I really found myself more like kind of like closed off from the rest of the world, and I really just wanted to be with my people, the people that brought warmth and comfort and care, and I knew that I am safe with them. I wanted to be with safe people only. And those sort of things kind of like make you appreciate, the things that really matter, the people that really matter. And then along with that, I had to, like, at first I thought maybe I can heal myself. So I started exploring all those kind of like practices. So I came across practices that I wouldn't have come across if I didn't have cancer, which is something I'm also really grateful for. I went to oxygen therapy, which is something like really nice. I would like to do soon again. I went through Reiki, which has been deeply healing. Like, Reiki just made me go through so much stuff that I had to heal. It was amazing, just kind of like this spiritually amazing thing. And yeah, and both places just introduced me to these great women that were such a support for me. When you're like, you're supposed to meet someone, they're like kind of like divine presence, they're like a soul you're supposed to meet. That kind of experience, very divine. I love it, very appreciative of it. And I don't think this would happen if I didn't get cancer. So, and then eventually I, had to do the surgery. Healing myself didn't quite work. I know. It's so surprising, right? Yeah, then I had to go through the surgery, which I was battling for a long time. But then eventually kind of, I was like forced to, by cancer itself. And yeah, and that led me to my surgeon. that led me to, explore what kind of options I have. Thankfully, he was the best option, and it was like right in the target from the first time. But yeah, then this experience also brought to me a lot of faith and a lot of surrender and a lot of trust and a lot of like kind of like feeling the things. When I met my surgeon, I felt him. Okay, I felt him. I felt like it was so weird, but I felt like, you know what? I love this guy. I can't explain it. I can't even explain what kind of love this is, but I love him. I love him in the sense of I feel like I can trust him. I feel like this I feel like this is it. Okay. And it really was it. Like he was great. Everything worked out divinely perfect. And yeah, and then I had to surrender. Then I just had to surrender. I had to have faith. I was holding a lot of fear, a lot of fear. But with fear also came prayers. With fear also came faith. With fear also came the kind of like, I had to have the balls to surrender. So kind of like had to be brave enough to surrender. And trust that I will be fine and for my highest good, which is not easy, but once you do it, it's just so divine. So yeah, that's how I am holding both when it comes to cancer. It both broke me and rebuilt me. It both like kind of like took something from me, but also added so much more. And also it gave me kind of like a lesson. It was really a lesson in disguise, because pre-cancer I would struggle with people pleasing. That's where actually this kind of like dark place I was in was actually exactly because I was so much people pleasing. I couldn't say no. I was taking on more than I could handle. So eventually my nervous system was completely fried from all the burnout I was having. And then thyroid cancer. It's all about the throat chakra. It's all about speaking up. I don't think that's a coincidence. So I had to learn to speak up. I had to learn to express myself, my emotions, my opinions, my boundaries. And of course I'm still learning, but I do think I'm much, 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 much better than before. So that's something, again, the bad and the good. So yeah. And this whole journey, just what it taught me about duality was it's okay to hold both truths. They can coexist. And I don't have to feel guilty about any of it, because it's both truth, and it's kind of like the complexity of the world we live in. So with this I want to say, maybe you're going through any kind of duality in your life as well. Maybe you really love someone, but you realize the dynamic is just not healthy for you. Maybe you realize that someone is a great person, but you have already outgrown them. And you gotta sing your own song. You gotta make your own kind of music, Then I know in this situation it's like really difficult to choose a path, and to choose the path that you know deep inside you that it's serving you the most, which usually is letting go. Because if you are not supposed to be letting go of that someone or that something, you wouldn't be thinking about it in the first place. Okay? Because you're thinking about it, then probably you really need that. And now with that, even though you realize you really need that, oh, I know like this is not good for me anymore. I know that I have to let go. You can still hold a lot of guilt, and the guilt is the thing that can hold you from not letting go. Which I encourage you to let go and realize that it's okay. There's nothing to be guilty about. As people, we're supposed to and meant to be outgrowing things and people and to be letting go. And it doesn't have to mean that the person is bad. It doesn't have to mean that you're bad. It's okay. Like, you can deeply love the person, you can deeply appreciate them, or that thing, whatever it is. Thank them, hold them like dear to your heart, but still go your own way, guilt free. It's okay. Our world is meant to be full of duality. We're meant to see the complexity in things. We are meant to see like all the aspects, and still you can choose. So that's what it is from me for today. That's day 2. I made it. I showed up. Hey. And yeah. Once again, this is not algorithm friendly, but all well. If you stayed this long, I would love it if you comment. What are your experiences of duality? Have you gone through them? Do you currently have one in your life? And what it feels like to you? Like, where are you at? Are you feeling guilty, or are you learning how to hold both truths? I'm really, really interested to hear from you. So yeah, that's all from me for today, and I'll see you for day 3.